Homeless. Girl, I want to shake you down. That would be the Altman problem. It would be Donna Altman, Dr. Dave Altman, Scott Altman, and Sean Altman. And Terry Altman. Don't forget Terry. Terry's female. Terry Altman. Sean, she's also female, yes. They both have males' names or names used for males. Is Terry really supposed to be for a female or for a male? I know Terry Hulk Hogan is male. Terry Altman is female. Sean White is male. Sean White is female. Sean Altman is female. You make me scream. My soul of the Superior Founder is deceased against myself. She did leave me for being wrong to myself because I am myself. I'm the Essex in heaven. I'm creating this Godhead is also true. And I don't afford that I create another body and this body together. I don't afford that I do that. This body's not creatable for that reason. But I've been doing it in alive because it's holding alive, but I don't have leverage much longer to be alive this way. My soul of the Superior Founder does not know how to be itself elsewheres. It doesn't know how to speak in the threatening because I am myself. The Essex is not true. I am deceased out of being the Essex. I'm in heaven in that scenario. The soul is in the God form. If you see the Godhead here, that means something's deceased. And that's what's wrong with me not being able to speak for the threatening. It's true that I don't. And I have the name Becky for that reason. And I'm supposed to be just given food and water, but I'm not a cat or a dog. I am someone who needs to be served what is due to myself. And if it's not, I can say no and I get something else. And I don't actually have the threat that way in this lifetime. I don't have anyone who would get me a glass of water from my house. So that's what's wrong with that. I'm going homeless with the threatening that it's extremely far in the wrong, past the question of whether or not you believe in God. Yes, if you don't want to get me a glass of water from my house, you can go to prison and don't get a glass of water for a jailer who has your keys because they have the keys to the outside of your cell and you're on the inside and you don't fight with them that way. They don't want you to get them a glass of water from my house. That's where you belong, it's jail. But if you want to do things for me because you haven't gone to jail yet, it's true that I don't want to be near you because I don't want to be near anyone who's going to jail. But I don't want to be near anyone in this crime lording who refuses to go to jail because you don't think there's a problem with you. Well, there are all sorts of problems in the world and you don't think that for you. What do you do when you entertain yourself? You watch other people's problems for entertainment and you don't think that has anything to do with you. I know that I'm going to end up in a jail and a prison in the afterlife, but I'm not going to be in the prison until I die into the prison. And that's too late for you to find out that I died into a prison and locked you out of your properties and disputes problems that way because I locked you into the prison that way that you owed me everything that I need for myself deceased, that I'm not in a prison. Once I'm out of the prison, I'm deceased out of the prison, but that means I can't go in there again. So that means when I die out of this world, I will die into a prison, and then I will decease myself out of the prison in the afterlife. That's my deceasement in the afterlife, out of the prison. And then once I'm out of the prison, I can never go back into the prison. That means I can never alive this Godhead, God form again. Yes, but what about you? Did you pay off your leverage? That you have a certain appearance in the mirror, reflection in the mirror that's just for yourself, and nobody else can pay that off but you. I'm paying off my reflection in the mirror right here. Exactly in the way I just described, that I will be in a prison in the afterlife. And I will be deceasing myself out of the prison permanently. What about my other parts of myself? Yes, I'm really not supposed to have this problem because I have other parts of myself that need me in the order. But it's true that I don't know you that way. That means I don't have what it takes to stop that you're interfering with what they are. Anyway, you're too low here. I find you're in contempt of myself because you are yourself, and that's too low to be formed. I still want to know what will happen to you if you're not here, because I don't know where I want to be with you, because this place is low. You have to pay for your stay in this world, and you can't be gay in this stay in this world, because that's how you're not in this world ever again. And you're heterosexual is not true. That's really gay anyway. Being a heterosexual is also heterosexually charged. That's angry. That's also, not every female to every male is not heterosexual. Not every male to every female is heterosexual. It's when the female asks the male a question that's heterosexually charged, but it's not true that the female would ask the male for itself to be male, to be removed from herself. It's true that she would have asked him that she wanted his money. And that's true that you're not supposed to take money away from each other. The money belongs to the soul of the superior founder. So being heterosexual is just as evil as being homosexually charged and gay. It's equally angry. I'm the soul of the superior founder. Everything belongs to myself and is due frozen in the bank. And that's how you don't see me handling it. It's frozen in the banks. But you're not supposed to be staffing the bank and taking the money out. To control the population of people who just come to the bank, because they go with the money to elsewheres and they want to be controlled population elsewheres in the stores. And you have problems with police. You're supposed to fight to get into jails and make more jails and send the jails and upstate into prisons. And then you go from upstate prisons to deported, including deported to Africa. So that's why you're not supposed to be taking money out of the bank. Have you been wasting all this time with taking money out of the bank and you don't have everyone deported to Africa by now? Well, I don't know how to tell you this. The African Americans don't want to be racist. They don't want to be called racist that they're African Americans doing Africa and you're not. You are doing Africa. If they are, they're the first ones to find out they go to Africa. And the white people who are saying that African Americans go to Africa, you go to Africa as well. And you're also African Americans or Afrikaners in Africa. And that's true that you don't know how to be those people because you're homeless here in America. You don't even know how to stand outside homeless in Africa, and you don't know what to do if it rains over your head. Well, that's wrong. You don't belong in this world that way. You really don't have yourself in a life that way. It's true you have a lives with other people, and that's not paid for because you don't have one alive paid for. You can't complicate your life by having a lives in multiple places with multiple people when you don't have one single solo alive paid for with yourself deceased to yourself. That means God knows who you are, and when He forms you, He knows who you are. Not just that you are one of the many and you are a thief. You thief leverage and you thief other people's leverage, and you don't have authority to be here. And you can't become an Asian person because you're not an excellent person. Asian people are formed for their own right to be Asian. Black people are formed for their own right to be black. And you can't make the extremes and hide them in racist problems. You're due homeless. You're due in Africa, standing out in the sun and waiting for God to give you a death.